Well, hey guys. You know what this means.
Wish, your wish is on my list, because your wish is what I miss, because your wish is on my list of the best.
That's right. It is the segment that I like to call Your Wish is on My List. Now, if you're new to this show, basically what I do is I go on wish.com. If you've never been there, I highly recommend you go in there. Wish.com is this like site that has all this crazy weird stuff, and one of the weird things that it has is fishing lures. And so I go on there and buy a ton of crazy fishing lures and then take them out on the water and see if we can catch something. That's why it's called, Your Wish is on My List. So the lures that I got today are pretty good. Came direct from
China.
So they just got off the slow boat from China, and we're gonna see if we can catch some fish with it. So let's get to it. All right, little guy, but now we know that the lures worked. Little guy. And now it's time for tackle roundup. All right, guys, look at this. What I got, it is a 4-pack of lures, and here's what they look like. They come in this little heroin baggie type thing. Let me show you what they are. They're basically, it's a variety. They're 4 different kinds, and they're creature baits. Let me go through each one of them individually. All right, the first one is this. It's like basically like a little crawdad, like that. We have this, which is some kind of funky creature bait looking thing. We have this one, which is another crazy funky little creature bait. And we have, look at this one. Look at how, that's a crazy one. It's got these circular little arms and these long appendages here. That's what they look like. Now, like anything that's on wish.com, it's never as advertised. I bought these things thinking they would be like normal sized baits, but instead they came out mini sized. They're actually less than 2 inches long. I mean, they're super tiny. So let me show you how I've got them rigged up and how I'm going to try to fish these things. Because the baits are so small, you don't have a whole lot of options as to how to actually rig it. But how I got it rigged up is on a 1/8 Ned head that has a weed guard on it. Now, I don't like having the weed guard on my Ned rigs because it really hampers hook sets, I find. However, where I'm at is there's a ton of stumps, and I'm getting hung up left and right, just even with the weed guard on there. So I can only imagine with the an exposed hook, it would be just completely not doable. So that's how we got it rigged up, and let's get back to it and catch some fish with it. And that concludes today's tackle roundup. All right, another little guy. Let's get him back in the water here. healthy little guy. All right, he's little, but nice and healthy. Let's get him back in the water. What in the world? Man, that thing was all tangled up on the tree. That darn fish ate it out of the tree. Look at that guy. That was interesting. I had thrown it up there and it got stuck in the tree. I was waiting for it to come. I was driving over there to get it out. And as I was driving over there, this guy hit it. All right, guys, I think I am going to wrap it up. The temperature has increased dramatically and I am sweating like crazy. Was able to catch a couple fish on it on our little crazy lures here. Thoughts on those lures? I had no shortage of bites on them. I actually had a ton of bites. I did not actually hook up with very many for a multitude of reasons. I think partially was because I was using the Ned head that had the weed guard on it. As stated earlier, I don't like having that weed guard on there on Ned rigs because it's hard to get a good hook set. So that was part of it. Another part of it is these are absolutely tiny baits, and I think they were attracting absolutely tiny fish. A couple of them got off and they were decent size. A couple of them got off and I saw them, they were tiny. One of the issues that I was also having is using a small bait like that is the brim and the panfish just ate all the appendages off, you know. So I had 2 packages of those things. I went through an entire package only because the brim kept eating like all the arms off of it. So that's kind of what I was dealing with. All in all, here are my thoughts on this. I actually really like the mold. And I really like the color. I don't like the size. The size is actually the problem that I had, was only because I don't think you can attract, not to say you can't catch big fish on little lures, however, you always catch little fish on little lures, and that's kind of what I was running into, little fish on little lures. And again, you don't get very many of them. They're incredibly small, and again, the brim just eat the appendages off. So that's where we stand, but I had a fun time playing around with that thing. I will do what I can to leave a description of the item on wish.com so that if you're interested in trying out the lure for yourself, you can find it down there. I can't, on these wish.coms, it's really hard to do because there's no really rhyme or reason to how they categorize their stuff. But I'll do what I can. But that information will be down in the description box. But while you're there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. The channel is updated every week with new fishing content and new fishing adventures. So I will be seeing you next week. This is Josh, and this is Abide Fishing.
Let's say China.